Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are now on chapter 14, the three modes of material nature, verse number 22 to 25. So Arjun has asked that Kairlinger Trin Gunan Etad Atito Bhavati Prabho Kimachara Katham Chaitans Trigunan Ativartata. So Arjun has asked question to Sri Krishna that, oh my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What are his symptoms? What is his behavior? And how does he transcend the mode of material nature? And to answer this, Lord says, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandavaha na dveshti sampravruttani na nivruttani kankshati. Udasina vadasino guneryo no vichalyate gunavartanta ittevam yo avatishtati naingate. Samadukha sukham swastham samaloshta ashma kanchana. Tulya priya apriyo dhiras tulya nindatma samstuti. मानापमानयोस्तुल्यस् अतुल्यो मित्रारि पक्षयो सर्वारंभ परित्यागी guna atita sa uchyate. So these two verses actually explains what are the symptoms of this, the person who has transcended three modes, and what is his behavior. So what are the symptoms? He who does not hate illumination, attachment and delusion when they are present, and long for them when they disappear. So when they're happy, they are not attached, and when they don't have this, they don't aspire for that. Who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities. So with this material body, we are going to get affected by material modes, but he's undisturbed, dhira, remaining neutral and transcendental. Knowing that the modes alone are active. Body is run by the modes. Who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress. Is always self-situated. Who looks upon a lump of earth, stone and piece of gold with an equal eye. His conception of looking towards the material world is everything is temporary. And then what is his, how he behaves? He's steady. He's always steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor. Because he sees that these are the attributes given to his body. Some people are honoring or dishonoring or praising or blaming. He knows that they are doing it to the body, not to me. Who treats alike both friends and enemy. Because he knows the temporary nature of this world. Everybody is playing part of this, of his activities. And essentially, all are same. The soul. And who has renounced all material activities. So the person who has transcended the modes of material nature means he is not at all interested in any kind of material activity. Such a person is said to have a transcended the modes of material nature. So the first thing Krishna indicates is that Anagha, he has no envy and he does not hanker for anything. So this word has repeatedly come for the Vaishnava. The person who has understood Krishna means he has no envy for anybody. Because all of us are in this material world, so we will get affected by the modes of material nature. But the person, Krishna conscious person, he understands that he is under the control of material modes of nature, that is his body. All the time his body will be under the three modes. But he is more or less always focused on his constitutional activities. He always engages himself in devotional service of the Lord. So whenever our main conception, our idea of not anticipating happiness for ourselves, but we want to give happiness to Krishna, if that is the conception, that is the driving force for all our activities, then automatically our activities of our material body will be forgotten. We have seen whenever we are in the festival and absorbed in the some seva, we hardly think of our own uh, needs, right? So that's why Rupa Goswami says that we should be 24 hours, or with all our senses, we should be engaged in satisfying Krishna. So we are in the material body, so we should not actually uh, try to get rid of the material body. We should be neutral in the sense we should not be giving any importance to all the material desires which are coming in our heart. We should ignore them and we should focus or we should cultivate the desires to serve Krishna. That is the only one way. So, moment to moment, when we transfer our consciousness to Krishna, then sense gratification will automatically stops. So Prabhupada explains that the qualities of material modes in the body will certainly act like, but the devotee, he does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of it. What he does, he always try to dovetail his activities to satisfy Krishna. That is the only thing. This is what is his these are his symptoms, and how he deals with the other people and the material world. He sees stone, gold, or any other material thing as same. He just accepts whatever is favorable for developing the desire to serve Krishna, and he rejects whatever is unfavorable. That is his approach. And he is not at all affected by the false honor and dishonor, because the body is temporary. Whatever glorification it is getting or whatever blasphemy it is getting, it is also temporary. So it is false. So not going to stay forever. So he does not hate anybody who is blaspheming. He has no enemy. Neither he is attached to someone who is glorifying him all the time. And same way, all the issues going on in the world, political or social issues, they do not affect him because he sees them from the higher perspective. He sees them that they are temporary disturbances or upheavals, like a sine wave going up and down. This is going to happen because this is material world. So he doesn't waste his time in discussing on these topics, social and political issues. His attempts are only to satisfy Krishna, and he never ever attempt anything for his personal sense gratification, like that. So how can he transcend then? Third question is, how he transcends the modes of material nature. Mamchayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samati taitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the mode of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So this Brahman means the first qualification, we have to give up all material aspirations. That is the three aspects of absolute truth, three levels of absolute truth. So the first stage is Brahman. We have to understand that we are part and parcel of Krishna. We have nothing to do with material world. I mean, anything matter, we are not matter. So to come to this stage means to see, to fully 24 hours we are engaged in satisfying Krishna. So Prabhupada writes, our consciousness transfers to always acting for Krishna. That is Bhakti Yoga. And in that he never sees that anything. I mean, Prabhupada writes that not only Krishna, but even all his plenary expansions are also, if somebody is in devotional, I mean, devotionally attached to anybody, Ram, Narayan, Narsimha, then it is also the same as Bhakti Yoga only. All forms are fully transcendental. They are all blissful, full of knowledge and ananda, happiness. They are omnipotent and omniscient. And then Prabhupada writes, the living entities, they actually, how one can understand to come to the level of Brahman means he understands that I am also the Krishna is supreme Brahman, and I am the part and parcel of Krishna. Just like gold mine, and I am the part and parcel of gold, and I am in the small portion of small particle of gold. So qualitatively, I am equal to Krishna. So that is coming to the stage of Brahman to understand this, and then one can fully devote himself for the transcendental divine service of Krishna. Unless one comes to this situation of transcendental position of transcendental connection with Krishna, he cannot serve the Supreme Lord because he will be fully focused on matter. So one must acquire the qualifications of Brahman. The example is given that to serve a king, we have to acquire some qualification. Then we can actually serve king. Similarly, to serve Krishna, we have to come to certain qualification. That is the Brahman platform. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. He doesn't lament for or hanker for anything material. Then he will be in the right position to serve Krishna happily. And Krishna says, what is this Brahman? Brahmano hi pratishtaham amrutasya avyayasya shashvatasya dharmasya sukhasya ekantikasya. So entire Brahman means Krishna's effulgence. So in that way, Krishna says, I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. So Krishna is also impersonal Brahman. That is, his effulgence is also part of him. But he is not only impersonal Brahman. He is the Satchidananda Vigraha, and he is also all-pervading Supreme Soul, Super Soul. So impersonal Brahman, the attributes of impersonal Brahman are given. It is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. That's why it is said, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. The all Karshati, Prakriti Sthani Karshati, the word will come in 15th chapter. That all the entire population, all of us are living in this world. Manashyasthani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. We are struggling because we are not in the constitutional position, that is Brahman. We think that I am this body, I am the Indian, I am engineer, I am so and so forth. So that's why we are in ultimate misery, not in ultimate happiness. So Prabhupada writes these three stages, Brahman, Paramatman and Bhagavan aspect. So gradually one has to go through Brahman and Paramatman absolute truth, the Bhagavan realization. The first is the initial beginning of understanding the transcendental realization, Brahman. Then middle portion is Paramatma. And the highest ultimate realization of absolute truth is to understand Krishna as a person, Purushottam. So even the impersonal Brahman aspect, the people who are attached to that, they can also progress to the ultimate realization. Prabhupada gives the example of 4 Kumaras. So they associated with directly Krishna, the Narayan, because of mercy and blessings of Lord Brahma, who is devotee. That's why they could elevate themselves to themselves beyond impersonal conception. Unless we perform devotional practice, even if we attain Brahman realization, we cannot, there is no surety that we will achieve the ultimate realization. We run a risk of falling again down to the material attachment. So that is the risk always there. So even Brahman platform, that's why it is said in Bhagavatam, Adhuya Krishrena Param Padam Tatah Patanti Adho Anadrita Yushmadandriya. So there is always risk is there for those who are in the Brahman realization, but they don't have any devotional relation with any devotee, or they are not practicing devotional services like that. So, Prabhupada writes how Brahman, the person who is on the Brahman platform, is always happy, Prasannatma. The servant of king enjoys on an almost equal level with the king. You know, we have always, so many times we have seen that Krishna, I mean, the servants basically, they enjoy sometimes more than the master. Similarly, the eternal happiness which is derived by the soul who is serving Krishna is more or on an equal level to Krishna's happiness, because by serving Krishna we actually derive happiness. So this is one part of the purport. And next, Prabhupada, how can anybody basically who is not accepted, not have achieved Brahma realization, or is in the purification process, he has to go through the 9 process of devotional service. And gradually, one's material desire to dominate the material nature will go by performance of devotional practice. This is very important. And then ultimately, one who has achieved one who has purified by devotional practices, he will naturally achieve the highest bliss of serving Krishna even within this material world. If he has practiced this, if he comes to this, he expresses, he displays these symptoms which we have discussed, and the second is his dealings are very proper to the spiritual standards, like that. So these are the 3 modes of material nature we have seen in the Jnana Yoga section of this Bhagavad Gita, module 3. Now, chapter 15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. So here we will see what Krishna says. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Urdhva Moolam Adashyakam Ashwatham Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Paranani Yastam Vedasa Vedavit. So Krishna says to Arjuna, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its root upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is knower of the Vedas. So Prabhupada starts the purport with that whenever there is a discussion of Bhakti Yoga going on, then somebody who is within the Vedic system, he will ask, oh, what about the Vedas? Because we are talking about Gita, it's a part of Upanishad. So Prabhupada writes that one who has understood the Vedic study, the Vedas, means he will come to the end of, he will understand Krishna to be Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he will start devotional practices. So that is the purpose of knowing the Vedas. Unless he comes to this ultimate conclusion and he starts practicing devotional service, he has not understood Vedas. So this is the main important thing about Vedas. If you want to know Vedas, so the conclusion should be, you should be practicing devotional service to please Krishna. So now the discussion, description of the material world is given. The material world is compared to the banyan tree, but it is not something like which we see in this world. Banyan tree is like roots are downward and tree is upward, but this material world is upside down. The roots are up and the branches are down. and one who is engaged in the fruitive activities. Now, almost 100% people are engaged in fruitive activities. Very few people are trying to get out of this. Manushyanam sahastreshu kaschid yatati siddhaya. So that means for all of us, for all of them, there is no end to this banyan tree, because all the activities will lead to the growth of this banyan tree. And that's why with each activity, he will wander from one branch to another, from another to another. This is the fate of a soul within this material world. He comes to enjoy and his desires, and then he expands his existence here like a banyan tree. So this tree has a no end, and for whom one who is too much attached to this tree, that means there is no end to him, because he will not understand that, oh, why am I reaping this kind of result now? Because he has acted so many lifetimes back, and now he is reaping some another result for this. So there is no possibility of liberation for some person who has no idea to get out of this. He is not willing to get out of this material. For him, there is no scope of liberation. So Prabhupada says, so this process of extrication should be understood. First of all, we have to understand that out of many methods, many processes of getting out of this material entanglement, the devotional practice is the best way. And the basic practice of this devotional service is to detachment from the material world and to get attached to the Krishna consciousness. I mean, to service of the Lord. So that is the main crux. So when the tree is there, that means there are fruits also. So what are the fruits of this tree? They are the results of the living entities' activities. So what kind of activity we do? Economic development, sense gratification, then the religion and economic development, sense gratification and liberation. So these are the fruits of this tree. And whenever you see that, whenever there is a reflection of some tree, that means we need a medium. That is a water. On water we see reflection. So the spiritual world is reflected on a desire of the living entity, and that way this material world is seen as a mirror image. So there is a water medium, and here it is a desire. So one who wants to get out of this material existence, he should know this tree thoroughly through analytical study. First, to understand, if we have to cut the tree, so you have to understand how big it is, how its roots have gone, and then you will try to extract it and cut it off. So Prabhupada writes here that when a tree is there, then suppose mango tree is there, that means the tree is there and the mangoes are also there. So in the reflection also we'll see mangoes. So when we see there are so many varieties in this material world, that shows that there are same kind of or more varieties basically in the actual tree. Because when the tree is reflected, not the entire tree is reflected in the water, because half a portion doesn't get reflected. That's why it is Ekapad Vibhuti and Tripad Vibhuti. So this is only 1/4 portion of the material world, entire material. The other part is bigger than this. There are more varieties in the spiritual world. So the impersonalists, they say that there is no variety in the spiritual world. That is false. It is refuted here. Next, Prabhupada says that a reflection is temporary because we see that there is sometimes it is visible, sometimes it is not. So similarly, we have to understand that material world is bhutva praliyati. This will manifest and unmanifest. But the spiritual world remains. And there is a water and the reflection is there. If you put some stone in the water, what will happen? The image will be blurred. You won't be able to see that. But when it gets settled, you can see the image. That is what Bhutva Bhutva Pralayate. But actual tree, we cannot be in that situation. It will remain as it is. And then what we have discussed, that the purpose of Vedas, that is the purpose to know this material world, material banyan tree, is that we do not have to get attached to this tree, the beautiful green leaves of the trees. So in second chapter of this Bhagavad Gita, we have seen that Yamimam Pushpitam Vacha, those who are attached to the beautiful green leaves of this Vedas, Vedic mantras, and the results of this Vedic hymns, chanting Vedic hymns and performing Vedic beautiful activities, they will never get out of this material world. So we don't have to get attached to this green leaves. We have to understand the purpose of this Vedas is to cut down this tree, not to get attached to this material tree. That is the main meaning of this first verse. So tree is there are leaves, we don't have to get attached to that. We have to understand the temporary nature of this tree and how it is expanded as a mirror image. And it totally depends on the desire of the soul. We have to analytically study this and try to cut it down. How? Adasya urdhvam prasthastasya shaka guna prabuddha vishaya pravalaha adasya mulani anusantani karmanu bandhini manushaloke. How the soul is getting attached or entangled in this tree, it is shown. Now, till now, we have discussed that the roots of the tree are going up and the branches down. Now, here it says even the branches of the tree are extending downward also and upward also, nourished by the three modes of material. Now, tree is nourished by water. And what about this material banyan tree? It is nourished by the three modes. And the twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down. So roots are going up also and down also. And these roots, those who are going down, these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society. So it is so entangling for a soul. That's why one who is attached to the tree, there is no possibility of liberation. Because imagine you are bound by so many ropes. You cannot get out of it. More or less, we don't have even a desire to get out of it. So Prabhupada writes, there are three parts of this tree: the lower part, middle part, and upper part. So lower part is for those who are lower than the human beings, the animals, horses, cow, dogs, cats, the lower animals, lower planetary system. And the higher planetary system is for the demigods, Gandharvas. You know, Om Bhur Bhuvar Loka. Bhuvar, Bhuvar. Bhulok means we are like human beings live there, but above the planet they are Swar Lok, Mahar Lok, Jana Lok. These are the upper part of the tree. Lower is the animal kingdom. And middle part is the portion where the passionate people live, the Karma Bhumi, the people who come down from the upper planetary system to again amass the good or bad reactions. So this is how it has been distributed. I mean, three parts are there in this tree. So this, as the other trees are nourished by water, this tree is nourished by the three modes of materialization. The more we give attention to some mode, we will be watering that our existence in this material world in that particular mode. So if it is goodness, it will be attached to the higher planetary system. It is ignorance, then we will land up in the lower planetary system. And if you are in the passionate mode, then we will be among the Bhuloka. So it is nourished by the modes. But what Krishna says to Arjuna? Nistrayunyo bhavarjuna. We have to go beyond the modes. So we have just seen in 14th chapter last mode, last few verses of 14th chapter. How to transcend the modes? Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. We don't want to get out of this body. Let's get rid of this mortal body because it is entangling us. No, change the script. Script in the sense the motive, desire. So Yamima Pushpata Vacha is even though they are in goodness, reading Vedas, but they want higher happiness from a higher sense gratification. So desire is changed that we want to serve Krishna, please Krishna. Then even though we are in this material body, in the banyan tree, we are not Karisiti. We are Brahma Bhuvya Kalpati, means we are in ultimate happiness. So it desires, it depends on someone's desire, whether he is in Karshati or he is in happiness. So the twigs of the tree are considered to the sense object. So sense gratification means the senses are attracted to sense objects. So twigs are the sense objects. So we know sense objects are there and the senses gets attracted to that. And because there is a contact between senses and sense object, what happened? Subsidiary roots are developed. What are they? Attachments and aversion. Why? Because these are the byproducts of varieties of suffering and enjoyment. See, if we want to eat something and we liked it, what happens? Attachment develops. Root. Again, next time we want to, or see, we again want to enjoy. So subsidiary roots are getting developed. And if we are get hatred, aversion for something, suffering comes. But I will never sit here. I will never go there. What has happened? Aversion. These are also subsidiary roots. But for desire is material, either attachment or aversion to matter. That will bind us. Desire is there. I don't want it. That is also desire. And I want it. That is also desire. So attachment and aversion are actually same thing. Both are binding to the soul matter. And these tendencies toward piety and impiety are considered to develop from these secondary roots, which spread in all directions. So piety and impiety is, people understand religion. Oh, if I do religious activity, pious activities, then I am entitled to higher sense gratification, higher happiness, right? I enjoy more. I give 100 rupees, I get 1 lakh rupees. So this is piety. And impious activities that, okay, this world is very bad. So more I snatch, I'll get happiness. So impious activity. So people have different concepts. They say, why you have so much money? I want that. Sort of. Like that, this kind of mentality is spread all over directions. And I mean, these are the roots only. And then he gets entangled. And all the time we have seen, it is like a Ferris wheel. The banyan tree is also same. Material world is described in various ways, various examples. So also material world is described as a Ferris wheel. Ferris wheel means in the fair, what we say, there is a wheel, giant wheel, which goes up and then it comes down. So those who accumulate so much of piety, why? To enjoy more, they go to upper planets, Swargaloka. They enjoy and they again come down. And those who go down, they also come up, like that. So this is how the banyan trees is growing. So first thing, they started from the Brahma Loka and then it has come to the Patal Loka because it's up to the desire of person. So spiritual world is being reflected on the desire of the soul and it has become accepted as the replica of the spiritual tree. It's a material tree, that is banyan tree. Like that. So again, the information about this tree, na rupam asyeha tatopalabhyate. If you want to try to understand, oh, from where it has begun, real form kya hai? So we can understand. Nanto na antuchana adir nachasam pratishtha ashwatthaменam suvirudamulam asanga shastrena dridena chit. ततः पदम तत् परिमार्गतव्यम यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव च आद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यत प्रवृत्ति प्रसुता पुराणी. The entire reason why we are discussing this, why Krishna is giving this knowledge to Arjuna is analytically understand our predicament now. We are bound, you are bound. He's saying, entire world, the souls are bound like this. So how to get out of this? So the real form of these trees cannot be pursued in this world. We cannot pursue this. Just imagine, example is given, a guava, Peru is there, a big guava. This is third and fourth verse, Mataji. 15th chapter, verse number 3 and 4. So the guava is there, big guava. In that there is a worm. And worm says, I know everything about this guava. Everything in this world. Everything about this world I know. But that worm cannot know even the guava also. The entire life that worm may spend roaming around the guava, but it will not find its end. What to speak of the entire world? So like that. So no one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. Lord Brahma personally tried to find out. He tried to find out, but he again came up. He could not reach to the beginning. But what we can do is with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. So again comes desire. So facilities are there, but I don't have to desire to enjoy that. That is what is the first level of understanding absolute truth. In Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. Getting it? Because I am getting all happiness from connection with Krishna. I am part and parcel of Krishna. Spirit. I am spirit soul, not matter. So dull matter cannot give happiness to spirit soul. To completely understand this means Brahman realization. That itself is so big in the sense of enjoying happiness. Like Jadananda and Brahmananda. There is no connection only. Like some boy will be happy getting toffee and somebody has billions of rupees. There is no connection of comparison of the happiness of getting toffee and he has won the lottery of $100,000 billion. Can you imagine? So Brahmasmi. But higher than that is there, the actually serving Krishna. And by serving Krishna, Krishna actually makes us available, makes us so much accommodative to actually enjoy as good as him. Just like servant of king, he enjoys as long, like king only. Sometimes more than king. Again. So that is the highest, serving Krishna. So that's why Krishna also says that why devotees get more happiness by serving me, and I am not getting that happiness. I'm getting it. So that is the Bhagavan realization, devotional practice. So the first thing is weapon of detachment. Whatever desire comes, whether it is ignorant by the modes of ignorance, passion, or goodness. Because modes are active. Even in good atmosphere, desire will come. Oh, you can be a PhD. And Lord, it was what? What? Our desire should be not for me. If I will preach to Krishna, preach to world about Krishna consciousness more precisely or to more higher levels by doing this. Then I'll do that. Not for myself. When a party hoga, PhD. You getting me? So all the desires which are coming from the modes should not inspire us to enjoy ourselves. So that is detachment. Desires will be there, but there should not be a false ego into that. All should be for Krishna's pleasure. We cannot negate desire. So detachment means that. Thereafter, one must seek that place for which, having gone, one never returns, and then surrender to that Supreme Personality God. So Krishna is going to give for the next. What is this world? Is spiritual world where one has gone, nobody returns it. Everybody stays there. There one surrenders to Krishna, from whom everything began, and from whom everything has extended since time and only. This is the process. First thing mentioned in this verses are there is we cannot see how far this tree extends, nor can we see the beginning of this tree. Yet one has to find out the cause. We have to find out the cause. So Prabhupada writes that I know that I am the son of my father. My father is the son of such and such. Like this, one should start the research, and it should end that, oh, everything has started from Lord Brahma, and Brahma has born from Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So our research should end there. That Krishna is the person from whom everything has emanated, like that. So the Asanga Shastrena, it is mentioned. We need to cut anything, we need a weapon. So this material tree, banyan tree, is there. To cut that tree, we don't need any axe, metal. What we need is asanga, detachment kind. So we can picturize the tree is growing. That means the tree grows by the banyan tree. We know its branches come down, right, and they become their root only. Later they become root. Whatever they come. And the axe is detachment, to slash that. So goodness, oh, you can enjoy like this. Passion, you can enjoy like this. Cut. Ignorant desire. So detachment. So like that we should learn detachment from the discussion of spiritual science. We should always discuss about spirituality. So that's why we have seen. What are the symptoms of those who have transcended the material modes? They never take any interest in social and political issues. Because that will again bring attachment. Because you will take sides. You will never be neutral. And what is mentioned? We have to develop detachment. Means detachment about the material world will only come when we'll discuss only spiritual topics based on the authorized scriptures and from the person who is actually in knowledge, in the sense from the Guru Shishya Parampara only. Then only will be detached. Otherwise, we may hear from a Mayavadi and we may attach the Mayavad conception or from fruitive workers. And he may say, Bhagavatam is there, you can get immense wealth also. I mean, for anything. So, proper personality also there. And we have to, first thing is we must surrender to Krishna. So, the basic thing is detachment will come when we associate with the scriptures based on authorized scriptures, spiritual science discussion attached to that, heard from authorized person who is in Guru Shishya Parampara. Then by hearing about spiritual science, we will surrender to Krishna. We'll understand his potencies, how much he is powerful, his greatness. Then only we will surrender to him. And unless we surrender to Krishna, we cannot get out of this material world. So the banyan tree will not go unless we become attached. That there only devotional practice means only two things: detachment from material world and attachment to Krishna. So unless we are attached to Krishna completely, we cannot get detached from material world. So the process should be like this: anartha nivritti and artha pravritti. So we start attachment to Krishna more and more, just like we were attached to drinking tea. So the nicotine tea, I mean nicotine रहता है ना उसमें. So that is there, but when you start taking herbal tea, herbal tea में क्या मजा नहीं. But slowly, स्वाद्वी क्रमात् भवति तदागत मूलहंत्री. When you are completely attached to offered herbal tree, nahi, tea, herbal, then you will get detached from the nicotine tea. Similarly, by practicing devotional services, 9% of devotional service, when we'll get completely attached to Krishna, side by side, we are trying to give up the desire for sense gratification, then completely will be detached. But their attachment should increase. We are not like dry speculators or mayavadis. Neti, ye nahi chahiye, wo nahi chahiye, ye nahi chahiye. That will make our heart dry. And again, there will be a risk of falling down. So heart should be filled with Krishna. Krishna enjoyment. Right? Then it will not hunger for anything. So however powerful tea is cooked, brought before you, you will not accept it. Why? Because you know, I don't have any taste for it. Because now you are full with Krishna Prasad. Like that. So the first important thing to surrender is what? Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dvandvair vimukta sukadukka sangir gachanti amudha padam abhyam. You cannot surrender to Krishna unless you give up your false ego, false pride. So those who are free from the false prestige, illusion and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who unbewildered know how to surrender unto Supreme Person, attain to the eternal kingdom. So this surrender process begins with amanitvam, giving up false pride. Because all of us are actually here because of puffed up false ego. I can enjoy without Krishna. That's how we were entered. So it will never actually happen. That's why it is very difficult for anybody to surrender to Krishna. Because जो दास है तो दास कहाँ से आएगा? अब now we accept das. Still we have superficially accepted das or dasi, but within we know how much we are into that consciousness. We say Prabhu, so we never. It is not actually suitable to God. Some Prabhu is Prabhu. Prabhu, why you are doing this? Or like that. So Prabhu means, so unless you are das, so das means your volume should be respectful. Prabhu, tell me what to do. So superficially, we may pose ourselves servant of servant. But unless we are truly, we have truly given up the false pride, even the process of surrender has not begun yet. That's why we don't feel any kind of nourishment. Sometimes we say, for so long I am doing it, the bhakti, but there is no sort of devotional kick nahi baith raha. There is no enthusiasm to do any seva or chant more round or read for some even half an hour. Do practical service. We may talk big things. Oh, I want to preach the whole world, but what about this small thing we want to do? Small seva. So why? Because the false pride doesn't go. That is to dominate the material nature. So this is delusion actually. Pride causes delusion that you can do it. What is there? है ना? You can do it. So we have to give up that. Then Prabhupada writes, actually Prabhupada writes, the whole world is actually moving under this impression that we can actually lord over the world. We can turn the rules of the world. So one has to get out of this false notion of that human society is the proprietor of this world. So Prabhupada writes that everybody thinks that one day our clan will be all over the world. In the sense, our kind of mentality will be all over the world. This is the false notion. Nobody can stay here permanently. These faulty associations bind one to the material world. One has to cultivate knowledge of what actually is his own and what is actually not his own. So we have to understand whether actually our body belongs to us or not. Even the body doesn't belong to us. What to speak of anything associated with the body? Nothing belongs to us permanently. So this is what is a cultivation of knowledge. Cultivate this knowledge. Not about the world. I know everything. How many windows are there in this room? This is useless knowledge. But what actually belongs to me and what is not in my possession, actually. This is real knowledge. And one who understands these things, he is free from all dual conception of happiness and distress. Because if something doesn't belong to you and somebody takes it, what is the unhappiness? And what is pleasure and pain? He becomes full in knowledge, and then it is possible for him to surrender. So, what is needed for full surrender? Knowledge. What is knowledge? Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate. Krishna says, I am the Lord of everybody and everything is my property. If this is the knowledge, you will surrender to Krishna. Unless you don't have this knowledge, how will you surrender? You will not surrender. Again. So this is the explanation about the banyan tree material world. Fifth. Then Krishna says, Yat Gatva, what he says, Yasmin Gatanam Nivartanti Goya. What is that place? So Krishna says, Natat Bhasayate Suryo, Na Shashanko Na Pavaka, Yat Gatvana Nivartante, Tad Dhama Paramam. So you have to give up this material world and go to that world where that world is not illuminated by the sun or moon. There is no sun and moon for giving light, or nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. So it is self-illuminated. Everybody is self-illuminated. They don't need electricity. Either plug dala ho everybody is illuminous. I mean, they emit light. Soul itself is full in knowledge. Gold, forget about gold. Sun is there. Sun ray actually gives light. I mean, sun gives light means sun ray also gives. So sun ray also has a light. Similarly, Krishna is giving effulgence. I mean, Krishna has effulgence. So part and parcel also has it, but in a minute quantity. Like that. So that is what is our Satchit Ananda Adupam. Pure consciousness. And in spiritual world, everything is spiritual. That's why there is nothing artificial needed to drive away darkness, because there is no darkness. Everything is illuminated like that. So Krishna he says Paramam Mama means Krishna says every nook and corner is the property of mine. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. Like that. And lastly, Krishna says that supreme abode can be achieved only by surrender and by no other means. So in Bible, what is said that the door to Krishna, door to the God's home is very short. You have to bow down and enter. क्या समझे? Those who have a false pride, I will enter. They will never be able to enter. Why? Because the door is very small. You have to bow down and enter. That is surrender. So what is the relation between Krishna says me and soul and this material world? He says these souls are mame vamso jivaloke, jiva bhuta sanatana. And manasashtani indriyani prakriti sthani karsuti. So basically, all the living entities in this conditioned world are my fragmental, eternal parts. Eternal, they are not going to get vanished when they get liberated. No, they will have their separate existence in the spiritual world. They will not get immersed in anything or get vanished. No, they will have their identity, eternal, but fragmental. They will not compete with Krishna. Now I have overpowered you. No. So these two things. And but what are they doing now here? Because Prakriti is also the energy of Lord. And living entity is also energy of Lord. But Tatastha, even though powerful than Prakriti, in the sense, material world, but because he gives up his connection with Krishna, due to false pride, what it happens? He tries to overpower Prakriti, enjoy for his own cause. That's why what is written? Manasashtani indriyani. He is given 5 indriyas with man. Prakriti sthani karsyati. He struggles very hard with the 6 senses, including mind. If he understands that Prakriti is the energy of the Lord, Hare Krishna, it's for his enjoyment. I am also energy of Lord. I am there only for the enjoyment of Krishna. Then he is relieved from Prakriti automatically. There is no point. Prakriti has already given up because he knows we are energy of Lord. When we try to lord it over material world, then 3 modes will get overpowered, affected by, will affect us. So this is very important. So there is a description that Krishna primarily what he does, he has a primary expansions, means Vishnu Tattva, and then secondary expansions like living entities. So Vishnu Tattva are personal expansion. Personal expansion means all the potencies are there of Krishna, same potencies. But separated expansions are like we. So Rama, Narasimha, Vishnu Murti, all are there. Actually, they are in Vaikuntha planet. They have same, potencies are there. But when the separated expansion, living entities are eternally servitors, they are part and parcel. Getting me? But separated eternally. Wherever they are always present in the individual identities, where they are in the material nature or in spiritual nature. So it all depends on the proper use or misuse of the little independence given to the soul. It decides whether he will be in the external energy or the spiritual energy. That's it. So Prabhupada writes, why he struggles? Karshati, because, so Karshati means struggling or grappling hard. So because he tries to control the material world. So Prabhupada writes that if you are not bound, then when you walk freely, right? But imagine you are shackled with chains to the legs. What will happen? You have to struggle for a walk, grappling. So that is our condition, basically. Because we have accepted modes. So we are struggling because we have to enjoy modes. But Nistre Kundyo Bhavarjuna, if you are not affected by work, we can move happily. There is no Karshati. So the false ego, which want to enjoy the matter, that is the troublesome factor. False ego is the told surrender and say sorry, then continue. Are you getting me? So false ego is the main culprit, which actually binds us here. And Prabhupada writes, that is why people go to either a good activity or troublesome activity or lower species of mind. False egos are also different levels. You know, goodness, false ego are also there. I am enjoy. I don't do sinful activities, but I want to enjoy. And passionate people, and then lower also. So Mame Vamsa Prabhupada writes, it is don't think that fragmental part means some material broken parts of Krishna. Because soul cannot be cut. So they are eternally separated. So they cannot be cut into pieces or joined again. No, not like that. So this is what is the connection between soul, super soul, soul, Krishna and material world. Now how soul accepts the body? Matter. Shariram yat avapnoti yatsapi utkramati gruhitvetani sangyati vayur gandhan ivashaya. The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another. As the air carries aromas, thus he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. So, first of all, whatever his intention is there, he gets the body, goodness, passion or ignorance. And in that, whatever activity he does, whatever the conceptions he carries, that oh, this will give me happiness, this will give me distress, this gets summed up to the mind, like that. And as the air carries what? The aromas from one place to another place. Similarly, from one body to another body, the mind, intelligence, the ego is subtle body. So that subtle body carries those conceptions from one body to another. This is the transmigration of the body. Soul. Transmigration of the soul get different bodies because of the different conceptions in the subtle body. And from one body to another, he only suffers only. Why? Because no matter can give happiness to spirit soul. Spirit soul will only get happiness from the main source, supreme soul, super soul, serving him. Like that. Once he get body, what happens? Shutram chakshu sparshanam cha rasanam ghranam eva cha adhishtaya manashayam vishayan upasevate. So he want to enjoy. Thus, taking another gross body, he obtains certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind based on his old conceptions. Previous conception, whatever are there, based on that, he gets another ear, nose, tongue. If he has a tiger, so he is a man, but he has a conception of meat eating, suppose. So he will get tongue, eye, ear like a tiger only. Manas and grouped again in the mind. Then he will see only flesh and blood. He does enjoy the particular state of sense object. So tiger will not feel guilty of killing animals. No, he will enjoy. Like that. The consciousness is originally pure like water. But when it is mixed with certain color, it changes. Similarly, when consciousness comes to goodness, it will be good and different color. Passion, different color. Or ignorance, different color. And he will enjoy in that type of 84 lakh species are there. And all species think this is the perfect life. Whatever body one gets, he is completely convinced that this is the only body made in this world to enjoy. like that. Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudhananu pashyanti jnana chakshusha. Now, even though human beings are the most intelligent species among these 84 lakh species in the sense, still, how living entity can quit his body, or what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of material nature, nobody understands. I mean, very few understand. So Krishna says only foolish cannot understand. So nowadays in Kali Yuga we can say no, actually nobody understands. सब बोलते हैं अरे क्या है वो तो end हो जाएगा. Body end to everything end. Or if one dies, we'll go back to हम लोग ऊपर चले जाएंगे. ऊपर चले करेंगे क्या वो मालूम नहीं. I mean, और क्या होगा स्वर्गवास होगा. So all conceptions are there. They don't know why we are living body, why we are getting another body, why somebody is black or some fair man or some rich or poor or so and so. So these are the description. The differences are there because of our previous activities. Nobody understands that. Who can understand? Pashyanti jnana chakshusha. One whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. What is the knowledge? Who is Krishna? Who am I? And what is this material world? What is the relation between us? Why am I here? What part the Prakriti's Maya is playing? This is knowledge. That is Jnana Chakshusha. And these things are one who is trained in to perceive all these things is very fortunate person. That's why we should get surrendered to Guru. So one who gets Guru is very fortunate. Why? Because he gets knowledge. How to see things differently. Everybody is seeing things, but nobody sees it actually. What is only the Jnana Chakshusha he understands. What is happening? We become fortunate. So Krishna Prabhupada writes, persons who are everlastingly fooled by lust and desire lose all power to understand their change of body and their stay in the particular body. So one who is attached to the material banyan tree, how can he understand which body he is into and which type of body he is going to get? Because he is engrossed. Time job. ये करना है, वो करना है. Lust, in the sense, to fulfill desire means lust. To those who are engaged in this, how he can understand why I have got this body and how will I get, what kind of body I will get because I am doing this. He will never understand. So Krishna says, yatanto yoginas chainam pashyanti atmani avasthitam yatanto akrutatmano nainam pashyanti achetasaya. Even the endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in the self-realization, the endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in the self-realization can see all this clearly because they are into the perfect channel. Endeavoring means they are trying to achieve self-realization. Endeavoring means those who are in the process. They can see clearly. But those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place. Though they may try to understand them. So surrender to unless we understand the complete picture, we will not be able to give up false pride. That we will not be able to surrender to Krishna. Unless we surrender to Krishna, we will not be able to understand what is going on, how people are, how I am giving up body that and I am getting another body. Like this. So Prabhupada, yogina here means actually one who is situated in self-realization. That is yoga. Yogina, not only like gymnastic exercises to build body and health. No. Yogi means one who is trying to understand the difference between matter and spirit. Trying to understand about spiritual world. That is yogi. यद आदित्य गतम तेजो जगत भासे ते खिलम यद चंद्रमसि यच्चाग्नो तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम. Now Krishna is trying to give us inspiration. Inspiration means he says, understand who am I, and I am the end of knowledge. I am the goal of knowledge. Everything what you are searching is me only. The surrender of sun, the splendor of sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me. So don't glorify sun. He is getting power from me only. And the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me only. So that's how we are getting the knowledge about Krishna's greatness, the power, है ना? You know, ignorant person will say, "Oh, I have 1 rupee. Oh, he has 100 rupees. Oh, she has 1,000 rupees. So she is greater than him and me also." But once he comes to the person who has all wealth, we say, "Are you are everybody's Lord." Are you getting me? So that's how sun, moon, all demigods are powerful than us. No doubt. Krishna says, I give them all power. So that's how we surrender to him. And even they surrender to him. And that is our greatness. So the one who surrenders to the proper person, he is great. But who surrenders to someone who is not great, he is not great. Because he doesn't know the more greater person. Like that. So Krishna is giving us higher knowledge. And he says, okay, you are living in this world and you are dependent on sun, moon, fire, electricity, right? I am giving that. What to speak of that? All the planets, they are actually in their orbit because of me. Gam avishya bhutani dharayami aham ojasa pushtami cha aushadhi sarva soma bhutva rasatmaka. So these verses are actually telling us that how we are at all levels, we are dependent on Krishna for everything. From this breathing air to digest food to actually taste food. Krishna is saying, just imagine now the Earth, Sun, and all these planets are not colliding with each other. Just imagine. Why? They are actually circumambulating in their ordained orbit. That okay, you have to turn 36 degrees, like not 37, otherwise you will collide with here. So Krishna says, I enter into each planet. And by my energy, they stay in orbit. They don't go here and there. They are all moving around them and around everybody. So these are two motions. Because of Krishna, they are in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. So all vegetables which we are tasting, all the vegetables, they have taste. But that taste is Krishna. Krishna says, Pushnamicha Aushadhi Sarva. That sattva is me. We eat vegetables, we get power, na? First the juice, taste, and that gives us nourishment. That is me, Krishna says. So Krishna is there in orbit. Krishna is there giving sunlight, fire, electricity, and food. And then Krishna says, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashrita Prana Apana Samayukta Pachami Annam Chaturvidam. That okay, you can eat food, but who can digest? Someone may eat and then he may have diarrhea or he can have indigestion. Krishna says, I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities. That means even for digestion, we need Krishna's help. And I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the 4 kinds of foodstuff. So prana, apana, samayukta. So if there is no proper balance, we cannot digest. Gas ho jata hai. So Krishna helps. This is entire. So we are dependent on Krishna. On all level. So, Prabhupada writes, all kinds of foods are there, 4 kinds of food. But to digest this food, we need help from Krishna. Okay, fine, then you can have eaten, but you need certain things. Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam. Vedesya sarver aham eva vedyo vedanta krit veda vida eva chaham. That actually, because I am there within your heart as a friend all the time, whether you are in the demigod body or the ant body, always I am there with you as a friend. Because of me, you could remember, you have knowledge and you have forgetfulness. Because all these things are very important. A calf is born, whenever he falls on the ground, immediately he goes to drink milk. Who gives this knowledge? Who gives him that knowledge? To find out the udder of the mother cow. That knowledge is given. And forgetfulness about what kind of body we had. Yeah. So good, a beautiful girl. Remember, she was a buffalo in last life. Her whole life will be miserable. Okay? Just imagine when she sees the mirror, she will, "Arey, भैंस दिख रहा है." So that forgetfulness also is important. So Krishna says, I give remembrance, I give knowledge how to do. So Krishna says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam. So Krishna gives knowledge to everybody, but special knowledge about Krishna gives to those who actually wants to come to him. So to that detachment will come, the knowledge all the time from Krishna when we endeavor to come to him. Otherwise, Krishna will give knowledge, all type of knowledge to us. I mean, how to live a life from within he is giving. But special knowledge. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Yenamam ubhyantite. For that we have to endeavor. We have to show our surrender. By acquiring this spiritual knowledge, by surrendering to Krishna's supreme, representative. And Krishna says, by all the Vedas, I have given all kinds of Upanishads and Vedas. You have to come to the understanding that I am the compiler of Vedas and I am the knower of the Vedas. And I am to be known. This is the most important. Vedas are there to know Krishna. The conclusion should be one should surrender to Krishna. This is all, everything is given. So now we come to the three shloki Gita, in the sense how we should understand. This is very most important knowledge about the spirituality. What? 16. Dva imo purusho loke chara akshara evacha kshara sarvani bhutani kutasto akshara uchyate. That in all total, there are only 2 classes of living beings. One is fallible, second is infallible. In the material world, everybody is fallible. And in the spiritual world, every living entity is infallible. So there are only 2 classes. Okay. But there is third one. Uttama purushastu anya. Paramatmeti udarata. Yo loka trayam avishya bibhartavya ishwar. Now the first 16 verse is talking about the separated living entities. All are separated, whether they are Akshara or Akshara. They are separated living entities. But Uttama Purushastu. So, fallible or infallible? There is Uttama. Uttama means the higher, the best among them is Krishna, the greatest living entity, who is Supreme Soul, imperishable Lord Himself, who has entered this 3 world and is maintaining them. So, Kshara and Akshara both are maintained by this Uttama Purusha. Third. So, Nityo Nityanam, Chetana Chetananam. That Kshara and Akshara are also Nitya, Chetanamaya, conscious. But Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kamam. Yet this Uttama Purush, Supreme Soul, is maintaining both Kshara and Akshara eternally. Okay. So, this is the now Of course, 18 is also included in 17, 18 are same. Yasmat charam atitoham aksharadapi cha uttama atosmi loke vedecha prathita purushottama. Krishna says, because I am transcendental beyond both fallible and infallible, because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world, this world and the Vedas as a supreme person. This is clubbed in. And third verse is now 19. So 16, first concept, 17, 18 is second concept. Same. So because it mainly speaking about Krishna, Supreme Soul. And now 19 is saying, Yomam evam asamudho jnanati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharat. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting, he is the knower of everything. This is the prayojan. What is this? The prayojan, in the sense, the ultimate end is one who understands Krishna to be Supreme Personality of Godhead. He knows everything. He should not have any doubt about it. That means he knows everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me. That is the end of his research work. And that is perfect. One who is now has no doubt that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am his part and parcel, and I have to serve him. He knows everything. That's it. The result is what will happen? Iti guhyam guhyatamam shastram idam uktam mayanaga etad buddhva buddhiman syat krita krityasya bharata. So this is the end result. So our 16, 17, 18 and 19. This is 3 shloka Gita, you can say. So what happens? What is the result of those who have no doubt about Krishna's supremacy? Krishna says this is the most confidential part of Vedic scripture. And whoever understands this, 3 things, 3 shloka Gita, what happens? He becomes wise and his all endeavors become perfection. His all endeavors will know perfection and will reach to perfection. It is theoretically so simple, but practically it is most difficult. Why? Because of false ego. It is very easy to say, I have no false ego. I surrender unto you. Prabhu, Mata. We have rebelled against Krishna, who is faultless. So how can we surrender unto, we may perceive so many faults. How will you surrender to somebody? Again, false ego is very difficult to give up. That's why bhakti is very simple to understand. But to practice it, it's the most difficult. Again, because of false ego. So this is the Purushottam Yoga. Okay, so Krishna, this particular last verse Prabhupada writes, this is the substance of all revealed scriptures. One will become intelligent and perfect in transcendental knowledge if he understands the philosophy of Supreme Personality of Godhead and engaging in his transcendental service. Like that. Unless one comes to this position of understanding Krishna and engages in devotional practice, however intelligent he may be in the estimation of some common man, he is not perfectly intelligent. So, those who are not surrendered unto Krishna and doing devotional service, they may be most intelligent, stamped by the material world, or they are very intelligent, but actually they are not intelligent at all. Why? They are not doing bhakti, Krishna. Krishna, what is saying? One who knows me, who is maintainer of all, he becomes wise, and what he does? Sarva bhavana bharata, he actually starts serving me. That is his wiseness. So those who are not doing it, so however they may claim or others may claim them to be most intelligent people, they are not. They are most foolish. That's why Prabhupada was so strong, bold To call scientists as, we can't say that, because he understood Krishna and as he is, and he was surrendered. So he could say that. And you are claiming that, but you are not doing bhakti. That means you are not intelligent. Based on this, Krishna's words. Devotional service is so pure and potent that once one is engaged in devotional service, he automatically comes to the stage of sinlessness. So one doesn't have to separately work as, oh, how will I get rid of sinful activities? No, you just perform perform devotional practice. Krishna is so potent. He says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. I will relieve you of all sinful reaction. You just do your duty. You surrender unto me. Like that. So there are certain things which require to be vanquished altogether. The most important thing is one has to surmount the weakness of the heart. The first fall down is caused by the desire to lord it over the material nature. Weakness of heart means we fall prey to sense object. Weakness of heart means, it's a strong heart means I know what to do. I will not do. Weakness of heart means swayed away. The second weakness of the heart is that one increases the propensity to lord it over material nature. He becomes attached to matter and the possession of matter. The first is weakness of heart. Second is to increase the propensity to lord it material nature. One step ahead. The problem of the material existence are due to these weaknesses of the heart. In this chapter, the first 5 verses describe the process of freeing oneself from this weakness of the heart. So weakness of heart, if you want to destroy, then read the first 5 verses. How we are, because of our weakness of heart, we have tied us up so much in this material world. So we will become detached. And the rest of the chapter, from 6 to through the entire discussion, is Purushottam Vibha. How Krishna is inspiring us to know about his greatness. Give up this. Come to me. Give this material world. Come to me. You happiness. There is a spiritual world which is eternally waiting for you. There is Vaikuntha means there is no misery. And here there is only Karshati, Dukhalaya. So who is the wise person? Who will want to live in a place where there is no anxiety and only happiness? The foolish will try to live in Dukhalaya. He says, no, misery you don't know. Karshati, he says, I am happy. He is struggling, but he says, I am happy. Or a bandha hai, are sone ka hai. He is shackled, but he says, sone ka hai. That is our foolishness. So that's what Krishna is inspiring us through Arjuna, that whichever state we may be, whatever sinful habits we may be having, start surrendering now and give up those activities and start utilizing all our ambitions or desires or all activities to serve him, to please him. That is devotional service. In that way, we will be attached to Krishna and simultaneously we will be detached from the unnecessary desires of this material world. Okay? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we'll